Join with me today is Valley Flying. Say what's up, Valley Flying.
What's up, Valley Flying?
What's up, Valley Flying? I love it when you do that. All right, so we're going to talk about something that I've been seeing a lot in the comment section on my channel, your channel, all over Discord and all over Reddit. And what we're talking about is new character fatigue. Too many new characters.
Yes.
And you know what I'm talking about, right? You've been seeing it too, right?
I do. I've been feeling it, but I haven't been minding it as much as some other players.
Right. And
because I know the flip side of what could happen if it's not like this.
Yeah. And so we were shooting a video on your channel where we speculate on the 5 new playable characters. Head over to Valley Flying's channel to watch that. And we're going to talk about a lot of the same stuff because this actually came up when we were making your video. We came up to the video. I just like, we got to talk about this, and I just started talking about it. It wasn't scripted.
It was kind of impromptu, but this could be the more in-depth version of that conversation.
Yeah, and so and I get it. It's like right now the credit crunch is real. Seriously, because right now to get Coulson, to make efficient use of your credits, you need to be spending $1 million to $1.5 million a day to get the optimal number of shards of Coulson. I mean, how are you doing with Coulson right now?
Not that much as far as the gold, but I've been spending enough energy wise, and our alliance is doing the World Warrior pretty good. But the gold one, I'm struggling on that one.
How many Coulson shards do you have? I'm just curious. Right now, I've got 78, so I've been grinding along. Where are you at?
Not that many. Let me see what I got.
So anyways, the idea is that there's going to be a war update, 5 new playable characters, limited time traits, Halloween event, and more. And we talked about this a little bit in your video. Limited time traits is going to be a Halloween event, and we're going to get 5 new playable characters. I think the only 2 that are certain would be Elsa Bloodstone and Ghost Riders. The other 3 could be Hela, it could be 2 Asgardians, it could be Cyclops, it could be Beast, it could be some other characters that are like Strife and Mr. Sinister. We don't know, but we're going to get 5 new characters, and plus Coulson's on the horizon. How many Coulson shards do you have?
I have 53, so I'm way behind you. Yeah, my gold spending is not been there.
Yeah, I had some excess from going into Fear of the Darkness, and I've been spending that right now. So, 5 new playable characters, and it's been coming up a lot. Too many new characters, and what are your thoughts about that?
You know what? We talked about the flip side, and I gotta call out another game that you play. Capital Games is making Fox Next look like saints right now, but I remember initially playing that game. We would get maybe 1 new character every 3 months or so. It was very spread out, and that was not as fun. This is the exact opposite of this. And I think I like this method more, having a surplus of characters. You got to choose which ones that you want to upgrade. I mean, I still don't have my AIM team fully built. I still don't have my Fantastic Four team fully built. Even Wakanda's, I'm still working on building them up.
Yeah.
I can't level up everybody, but I'd rather have it like this, where I get to choose a bunch of characters and choose which one to level up than have nobody to work on. So I don't mind it, but... Well, it could definitely be worse.
Here's the thing is that I'm definitely overloaded, without a doubt. There's a lot of new characters, and the problem that I'm having right now is that the gold crunch is real. It's just astronomical. Yeah. And going from level 70 to 75 and taking characters up even higher is insanity right now. And there's really no reason for me in my account right now to go above level 71. Going from 70 to 71 does give the characters a huge amount of focus and resistance, but there is like nothing by going from 71 to 72. I mean, it's like a very small amount of damage health, nothing. It's like not even, it's like there's no reason to do it other than someday I'm going to have to get these characters up to 1475 to enter the new version of Fear of the Darkness, whatever that's going to be, Dark Dimension. But it's just like so much stuff. And with all these new characters, what I want to suggest to people is that this game is about resource management, but there is a functional, efficient level to take your characters up to so that they're usable and so that they work, but you don't have to spend a lot of resources on that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do, and it does get to that level because you want to be able to upgrade all their abilities because at some point I think that matters a little more than some of the stats. As for certain characters, not all, but for certain characters, having their abilities work properly at that 6664 level is going to be very important. So I would agree there is a level that you need to build them just to have that minimal usage like was intended for that character.
Right. So when a new character comes out, I like to test them and I like to show the community where they see value and what they're good at. And I think that the minimum level of where a character is useful or usable, and it might be a little bit higher this, but at a minimum it needs to be at level 60, tier 9, with all the purples at 6664. And the reason why level 60 is important is because level 60 is the level where you can actually put all of the purples. Like you can see right here on my screen, I've got Aim Infector. He's at 5664. Now, this is a character that I decided I'm not going to use inside of my AIM team. So I kind of decided to not put the last purple on him because it really wasn't that good of a purple, and I just decided not to do it. But this is a level where I find that I can at least test the characters and see if they work, and it is not a lot of resources because once you go beyond tier 9 and you go up into tier 10 and tier 11, what happens, Valley, with the gear and the ABCs?
It slows down a lot, and you could maybe do one gear piece every couple days or so because of all the ABCs that it requires. And there's a big crunch there too. You mentioned a gold crunch, that ABC crunch when trying to gear these characters. Yeah, it's very slow because of the limit there.
Once you get past tier 9 in gear, there's just some of these, when you get up into 10, 11, there's this one block that'll have like 56 required of ABCs. You know what I mean? And you're just like, oh,
yes,
wow.
I do. And
then it's like,
I think everybody that's been in Fear of the Darkness knows how horrible that is when you're trying to get 56.
But getting to 9 is relatively painless. And the gold level to go from 0 to 60 is relatively painless as well. Like before the cap was raised to 75, from 0 to 70, midpoint was 63. The amount of gold it takes to get to 63 is the same as it takes to go from 63 to 70. And then to go from 70 to 75 is another astronomical, mind blown. Woo. So much credits, but it's relatively efficient to go up to like 60, somewhere between 60 and 65. You could. I typically stop at 60, and then if I like the character, then I start taking them higher, and then it becomes an issue of resource management. And the only characters that I will take, all the way up are characters that I needed for Fear of the Darkness, for raids, to unlock Ultron. My arena team, right? I mean, what characters do you just dump all your resources into? I mean, there's just a handful of them, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the arena. I think that is the most important one. And then the second most important one, in my opinion, is going to be raids. So if you're using those characters a lot in arena, you definitely should build them up to as high as you can. And then for the raids, you do those every day. You do those every single day. So you need a solid raid team that you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to spend cores. You don't have to spend health to refresh them. So after that's done, I think you have a lot of flexibility. After your arena and raid teams are set, then you could just kind of go for fun. But you definitely need to focus on those two areas.
Right. And so we put out these lists. I put out a list all the time, top 10 characters in the game. Those top 10 characters are pretty much the only characters that I'm willing to take all the way up. Like right here, I'm showing Phoenix. You could see that I have orange mats in 3 out of her 4 abilities. I've got her all the way at 72. I've got her as high as I can take her, tier 13. It's because I'm finding her useful in pretty much every single game mode. So these god tier characters are the only ones that I'm willing to take characters all the way up. And then, it's like other characters, we've got Fantastic Four, which was just released. We've got Wakandans. We've got AIM. It's like, what are they useful for? They're useful in Blitz. They're useful in War. Blitz. I will put resources into it when I get around to it. It is not a priority. I mean, this entire game is about resource management, and you can. You're putting the same amount of resources typically as everybody else into the same number of characters, and you kind of have to choose wisely. And so, like you and I do these like roster reviews where we kind of look at each other's roster reviews, and what we're looking at mostly is who did you put too much into, right? Right? It's like, oh my God, you put so much into Night Nurse and Korath. Oh no, why did you do that? And so and then it's interesting that over time, a lot of people say the same thing on my stream is like, wow, the bottom of your roster looks the same as mine. What's on the bottom of my roster? I'm sure it's the same thing at the bottom of your roster. Ultimus, Mercenaries, Hydra,
Ultimus,
and Ravagers, right?
Yep. Yeah. Pretty much same thing for most people.
There's just not enough to go around. And guess what? AIM was on this list too, right? AIM was down here, and then it's like, oh, they're actually useful. So they get to go up.
They're actually pretty good.
They're actually better than, to me, because they don't require orange mats to be pretty. They actually, for me, are more effective than Wakandans in my opinion right now. Fantastic Four. Like it's like I actually like them.
Makes sense.
I'm using them on defense in war and always getting wins off of them on defense. Always. Like 2 wins and so it's like, okay, well, I have some extra resources. They're going to go there. They deserve to go above level 60, 6664. Gear 9, and they're slowly creeping up, and that's what I'm doing. So, in short, what I'm trying to say in this video is, there is going to come a point where I'm going to say enough is enough. We're getting too many new characters. There's just not enough resources to go around. But what I'm saying today, right now, is the same thing you're saying is, I've played other games where there's been no new characters, and that is 1,000 times worse than working with a developer that is anxious to push out new characters. I would prefer to get a new game mode and new stuff, but I think we're getting some of that too. But
there's been talks.
Yeah, well, it's like what I'm saying to you is that right now we're getting a lot of characters, and getting no new characters is worse than getting way more characters. And so
I definitely agree.
Yeah, so for right now, I want to say is like, my God, your people are getting overwhelmed. There's not, I would, if they're going to give us all these new characters, please loosen up some of the gold. Give us some more gold. Give us more ABC, something, because
gold and ABCs. Those are the two bottlenecks that prevent us from building these characters to a usable level where we can really have fun with them. So.
Well, so we're gonna do the giveaway. I really hope you liked this video today, because if you did, you are in luck. For every single person that likes this video, you will be getting for free in your account an 8-star Greg.
This is not a scam.
So Greg is Hela's Summon. I don't think that's an official Marvel name. I think that was a placeholder name, but we're going to call him Greg forever.
I think it is official for the MSF community. I think that will be the official name.
I literally think that they needed a file name, and they just typed in Greg.
No, that's exactly what it was. But I think for us, at least you and me, that's going to be an official.
It's going to be called Greg. So Hela's Summon is officially called Greg for forever now. So, but we need the Ultra needs minion names. We call them Bob and Sam. You know what I mean? Maybe we should name them as well.
we could, but it wasn't officially called that by the devs at one point. They always had the accelerator and incinerator. That's why Greg is special. Greg is more special than these minions.
Yes. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.
Woo!